Good evening and welcome. Thank you for attending tonight. This is our 5th annual Psi Alpha induction ceremony. My name is Suzanne Ordone. I'm a member of the Social Studies Department here at Timber Creek. I teach AP Psychology, Psychology 1 and 2, and U.S. History. Joining me tonight are 35, well maybe like 33 because I think 2 people aren't here, senior student inductees that have successfully met the requirements for membership into the High School National Psychology Honor Society, Psi Alpha, along with Ms. McKenzie, our principal, and I believe that Ms. Brown, our senior, oh, she's here. You have a reserved seat up front, Ms. Brown, with a water. Ms. McKenzie and Ms. Brown were juggling events tonight, so they came from another event, a Timber Creek event. So to begin tonight's ceremony, I just would like to introduce Ms. McKenzie, who is going to say a few words.
All right, good evening, everyone. That was lame-o. Come on, good evening, everyone. Right, y'all know how I do. Okay, out of everything I get to do as principal, honoring students for good things is by far one of my favorite responsibilities. They know this. While I regret never having taken a psychology course myself as a high school student, these courses rocked my world in college. Truly it pays to understand the way people think, and as a school counseling major, the study of psychology has impacted my professional capacity to do what I do in exponential ways. All of this will be worth it. To set the mood, just like many mornings at TC, I'd like to start off this evening with a joke. Are you guys ready? I'm just saying, see, I love the energy. I need to have you in my classroom. Okay. So how many psychologists does it take to change a light bulb? One, but the light bulb has to want to change. Come on! Yeah, see, come on, yeah. Okay, I provide jokes, but I also provide advice for a living, and tonight is no different. I have 3 terrific tips to help promote your excellence. Your life is as good as your mindset. Roger Crawford states, being challenged in life is inevitable, being defeated is optional. Think about your thinking. Take your coursework seriously, and you have intentionally and incredibly established a fantastic mindset. Your attendance this evening demonstrates that you killed that part. It takes a village, and I honor them all. This is number 2. Notice your families for a second. Mrs. Nordone and our building administration. They are your squad, and your squad deserves your gratitude. Let's give it up for the squad. Give them a round of applause. This squad, this village, they are the people who encourage your greatness. Always remember to be thankful. And lastly, walk into your purpose confidently. Be confident in who you are and proud of the person you are becoming. You are an incredible human, I think, with limitless potential, and I am very proud of all of you. Okay, people, the next stop on the Charger train is graduation, and we are all charged up to embrace that magic. Charger family, thank you for supporting our program, our students, and the needs of our community. Your advisor is awesome, your families are fantastic, and you, my friends, are pure perfection.
Thank you, Ms. McKenzie, but you did forget prom before graduation. That's all right. So we're here tonight to acknowledge the dedication, sacrifices, perseverance, and hard work each of these 35 students has made over the past 4 years of their high school career. Amid college applications and decisions, constant schoolwork, clubs, sports, AP exam, prom, friendship and significant others, class trips, senior year is quite eventful. But these students have embraced the changes and challenges and have continued to focus on their goals and future plans. Among this group, we have future doctors, nurses, mathematicians, psychiatrists, psychologists, biologists, engineers, and mechanics. This group of young adults are determined and destined for success and overall great group of students. I'd be remiss to not mention the impact that the knowledge and experience of taking psychology has for each student. Knowing things like how brain chemistry impacts behavior, how emotions develop, evolve, and endure, or the symptoms and prevalence of mental disorders and treatment options, helps to prepare students for their next step in the life journey. Bringing about awareness helps to erase the stigma about mental illness, and its acceptance is growing amidst a mental health crisis post-COVID. With 57.8 million Americans, it's roughly 1 in 5 adults living with a mental illness, and teens ages 18 to 25 being most at risk, psychology has become more and more important to not only understand, but to cope with the stresses of everyday life that impacts these young adults. Psychology gives you a starter toolkit to successfully navigate feelings, emotions, and challenges that you will encounter in the future. I've been a teacher for more than 22 years, and I still enjoy sharing my love of the subject with my students and helping them understand not only more about themselves, but about people around them. And yes, they do use you parents as examples. We try not to diagnose, but every once in a while they think their parents are crazy. Most of the inductees I've had the opportunity to get to know personally, and they definitely make my day more interesting. I've seen their uniqueness, quirkiness, talents, and many more of their personality characteristics. Sure, they can be moody and crazy teenagers. Believe me, I have 2 of my own at home. But it gives me great joy and pride to be able to recognize each of these senior students. For me, this is what teaching is all about. Tonight is a new opportunity for these students to be recognized and inducted into Psi Alpha. Congratulations, as this truly is an honor. Timber Creek was the second school in the state of New Jersey to receive a charter, and the first in the state to actually have an induction ceremony 5 years ago. I'm privileged to be here tonight with each of you and officially induct you into the Psi Alpha Honor Society. At this time, I just want to give you a little bit of background information about Psi Alpha. Psi Alpha was founded in 2018 to recognize scholastic achievements and interest in psychology of high school students. Psi Alpha provides national recognition and serves as an aid for stimulating interest in psychology as an academic and professional field of endeavor. Psi Alpha is the high school, Psi Beta is 2-year college, and Psi Chi would be a 4-year college, so they can go on to attain those accolades as well. The knowledge gained from the study of psychology is applicable to any career the student may choose. Through Psi Alpha, students feel a sense of community with others in psychology as they learn more about the larger field of psychology. But overall, membership in Psi Alpha is a well-respected credential for achievement and acknowledges interest in psychology early in one's educational career. Tonight we have with us the guest speaker, and I'd like to give you some background information before he shares some words of advice and wisdom with you. Dr. Cliff Burwise completed his PhD in clinical psychology from the University of Rhode Island in 2019. Upon graduation, he was a staff psychologist in the Counseling Center at the University of Delaware, and currently is a clinical strategy lead at Modern Health, which is a digital health company. Throughout his career in training in psychology, he has specialized in treating substance use concerns, racial trauma, and the unique experiences of first-generation college students. His career has been dedicated toward identifying factors that contribute to positive outcomes for marginalized populations, most specifically Black adolescents and young adults. And he is currently interested in how to disseminate psychologically informed education using digital platforms. He has worked in many different environments, including correctional settings, private hospitals, community mental health, and has over 5 years experience in college counseling. And he personally is connected to Ms. Simmons, who is our academic success coach, as they are engaged and getting married in a few years. So I'll let Dr. Burwise speak.
So this is a little low for me, for whatever reason. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction. Ms. Simmons, Nice to see you. First off, congratulations. Oh, yeah, do talk back. So generally, I face the audience, but I'm actually really talking to you. This is a very exciting time, and I also want you all to be able to see the word. All right? I put together a couple words I want to share. So, congratulations on your induction into Psi Alpha. You've officially cemented your membership in the field that is 100% about people. Psychology gives you the opportunity to learn how people think, the actions they take, and the emotions they feel. This is one of those fields where the skills you learn can be applied into literally anything that you do. I want to be among the first to tell you that this is an amazing accomplishment. But honestly, I get the feeling that this is likely just the beginning. Actually, that's not true. This is just a stop along the way. We've already accomplished so many things. And I have the sense that there's lots more to come. So when asked to give this talk, I did exactly what any scientist would do. I did research. I Googled how to give the best speech. I Googled how to relate to college students or high school students, because you're all about college students. And not surprisingly, tons of Google hits popped up. I was reading through them and I was just like, what am I doing? This is not it. Ultimately, I realized that the best talk that I can give you was about my unique story. Because I need you all to realize that no amount of Google hits, research, ChatGPT questions can dictate your future. Ultimately, that falls to you, given that you're sitting in this room, in this position. I'm excited. As was said, I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. I earned my PhD in clinical psychology, and I'm proud to say that because as you will soon learn, my path was neither easy nor typical. I hope to share my experiences with you, highlighting some of the many opportunities that came across and providing a snapshot of what may be available to you. So, I'm a first-generation college student myself, who was the child of an immigrant mother from Jamaica, who felt like it was best to move to Jamaica, Queens, New York. She really liked saying that she lived in Jamaica. So given my status as a first-generation college student, which some of you may be as well, personally can't go to college, there was a lot for me to learn, and my expectations were limited. I initially saw college as a place where you go, pursue a degree in 4 years, maybe a little longer, and then get a job. You see, I came from a community where mental health was seldom discussed. And if you chose to go to college, it was because you were playing an engineer, a lawyer, doctor, nurse, something along those lines. All great fields. But there was more opportunities available. So I'll be honest with you, my understanding of how to navigate college was less than fully developed. I'd always been a great student. Graduated in 5% of my high school, all while juggling being on 2 sports teams. I'll let you guess which sports. Completing community service and holding down a part-time job my senior year. Academics was the easiest part of all that. Initially, when I heard about psychology, I only thought about sitting on the couch conducting therapy. So it wasn't until I allowed myself to become fully immersed in psychology that my mind expanded. A multitude of opportunities arose, and I learned a lot more about myself. But the most exciting part about this journey is it's still happening. Always still going to be growing, and that continues every day. Please don't take that for granted. After 3 years in college struggling, I was trying to figure out where I fit in academically, who I was. Not what other people were telling me I should do, but trying to figure out what was the best fit for me. Then I took a general psychology course, and it really felt the connection. Funny part was I got a C+ in the class. But I was like, oh, this feels right. I went on to take more classes that taught me about how behavior was dictated by different parts of the brain, how society impacts individual behaviors, and how to collect and evaluate research for large groups of people. In addition to all the textbook knowledge that I'll between coursework and research opportunities, I honed my skills in communicating with others, giving presentations to large groups of people, and the importance of building and maintaining relationships. It is this last point that I cannot belabor enough, because it was and still is these relationships that encouraged me to continue as a student in the face of adversity and hardship, and opened up so many opportunities for me. It is those relationships that helped me get my first job, working as a research assistant, where I ran MRIs and conducted IQ testing for people with psychosis and drug use. It was these relationships that helped me get me stellar letters of recommendation that helped me gain acceptance into multiple clinical psychology PhD programs during my first application cycle. And those programs are the hardest to get into the country. And it was also these relationships that led to the experiences that made me qualify for my current employment. Clinical psychologist working at a tech startup company. We'll get more into that a little bit later. I built these relationships by showing up as my authentic self in class, being intentional while getting to know my instructors, and I didn't get the best grades like I said before, but my professors knew who I was. I would show up the best that I can. Sometimes I was asking questions, sometimes I was going to their office hours and just chopping it up with them. But at the end of the day, they knew who I was. And one of the most important things that I took away was by giving them the opportunity to get to know me, they gave me the opportunity to get to know them, and that was more valuable than anything I learned in the classroom. I share this fact with you because I want to be clear that success is defined by so much more than the grades. Don't get me wrong. I encourage you to get the best grades possible in all of your courses, or the highest possible tests. But please remember that connections and experiences are equally as valuable, if not more. In fact, I hope that one of your takeaways after this talk is that you cannot overstate the importance of building connections and taking advantage of opportunities outside the classroom. This brings me to my next point. Don't be shy about asking questions to forge a path that is best for you. I asked questions to peers, professors, advisors. Some of them knew nothing about my major, but they helped me think about different scenarios that I hadn't thought about before. Questions such as, what can I do in this field? Or what do I want to do in this field? What is the path to take, and how do I even begin that journey? I'll be honest with you, I was overwhelmed and anxious, but it was still clear that this was the direction that I was going to take. And I assure you that you will also have your own unique journey, and that's exactly how it's supposed to be. Being in this field for over the next 8 years, a myriad of opportunities presented themselves. For the sake of time, I won't name them all, but I'll give you a couple of highlights. I learned how to operate an MRI. I mentioned this before, but I don't care who you are. To say that I was scanning people's bearings while they were playing video games in the machine is a good topic of conversation over there. Right? I have conducted therapy with children, adolescents, young adults, older adults, multiple languages, taught life skills to those diagnosed with autism, ADHD, and intellectual disabilities, helped clients feel a sense of fulfillment and better understand themselves through neuropsychological assessment, taught anger management and behavior change strategies to those in correctional settings, and conducted research about the factors that contribute to mental health and positive outcomes for Black Americans. And this was all before I graduated from graduate school. There's a couple more things that I did, but like I said, I don't want to name them all. So when I tell you that there's so many experiences on the horizon, I'm not kidding. So while I continue to come across all these experiences, I also gained a better understanding of my why. And instead of asking what I would do, I started to ask what I could do. The difference for me was that my stance no longer is so prescriptive that I had to tell you what I'll be doing every day for the rest of my life, but it became what did I want to do and how could I make it happen. I also want to acknowledge that along the way, I had some experiences that weren't fun, but I always ask myself, what can I learn? Because like I said earlier, it's always about growth and progress. Maybe it was me realizing that working with children wasn't my passion, because that also meant working with parents. Love y'all, but sometimes that could be a little stressful as well, right? Also, while I knew that therapy was great for the ride now, is this something I could see myself doing for the next 30 years? One thing I knew is that I kept asking questions to others and to myself, in the mindset of approaching challenges and experiences with curiosity and desire. First step in my formal career path at the graduate school began as a staff psychologist at the counseling center. While working at the counseling center, I was a generalist, which meant that my clinical skills could be used to treat a wide range of clinical presentations, ranging from generalized anxiety and adjustment difficulties to more acute presentations such as major depressive disorder. I also received specialized training in the treatment of substance and alcohol use disorders and race-based trauma. Above all, I gained a sense of fulfillment that every day I knew I was making a positive contribution to society. Whether it was providing a direct clinical service, helping professors better interact with students or a workshop about preventative care to be proactive regarding mental health. Truth be told, when I was sitting in your shoes, I didn't know I was capable of making these contributions. But once I found out and recognized that my fit in the field, I pursued what felt best instead of what I thought I was supposed to do. And the opportunities kept coming, and I want to encourage you all to do the same thing. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about my current job. Because now I work at a tech startup. And you hear that a psychologist who works in technology blows a couple people's minds. So, let's talk about it. So, my day-to-day, I work on a team of psychologists, social workers, content writers, sound engineers, data analysts, and user experience analysts. We brainstorm and create products which can range from soundscapes that improve focus, written products that teach grounding techniques, full-blown courses that have videos teaching stress management skills. How did I get from doing therapy and providing supervision of trainees to my current job? The answer is simple. I got this job through maintaining relationships and taking advantage of opportunities that were presented to me, and I leaned into them. Those two major takeaways are what I hope you remember. That's why I keep repeating. The beauty of being in psychology is that our training is highly specialized but can be applied in many different contexts. While I was working at the College Counseling Center, a previous professor of mine from graduate school, who is now working at a tech company, asked me to work with his team to create programming revolving around how Black adults can cope with racial discrimination, a topic that was salient to me personally and professionally. What I initially thought was a one-off opportunity that would last a few months, 1 year later turned into job prospects and a chance to provide vital information about mental health care to individuals all around the world. While on paper, this position feels out of left field, many of the skills I learned from my clinical training and my experience as a staff psychologist allowed me to be successful in my current role. My expertise in clinical pathology and symptom clusters facilitate my ability to identify different forms of treatment for various users who differ in their presentation styles and various identities. Through years of giving presentations to students, I have gained the ability to translate complex clinical concepts into clear, direct language that people can digest while scrolling on their phone or their smart devices. My experience is a prime example that training in these skills can open doors for traditional and non-traditional career opportunities. In fact, a major reason why I pursued a degree in psychology was the flexibility it offered. Thus far, I have been in positions where I provide clinical services, taught courses, workshops, supervised others, and now I work in the tech space. All of that I'm still considered an early career psychologist. Who knows what will happen when I'm considered to be mid-career? Once again, this is just the path that I've taken. The path you take can be as unique as you want it to be, and just because your path is different than others doesn't mean that you're not right where you're supposed to be. While I know I spent a good amount of time up here talking about me, what can I say? I asked you to do it. The easiest thing for me to talk about is what I do best, my own experience. I think it's really important for you to stop and evaluate your own experiences and other people. But I have a few takeaways that I want to remind you of. First, the foundation of your success is so much more than the grades you obtain. Work hard, do well, and remember that your grades are a piece of the equation and not the complete you. Second, don't underestimate the power of relationships that you build, because you never know where they will lead you to. Third, while you're figuring out your path, remember it's going to be unique to you, and will look different than your peers, colleagues, and mentors. And that's okay. All that means is that you're creating your own story and coming across the opportunities that are going to teach you more about yourself. Fourth, the skills you learn in psychology can prepare you for many different jobs. In learning how to work with people, you have the skills to be a manager or principal, right? You know how to read data, which can allow you to work in any company, ranging from a psychology lab, biology lab, or Netflix, assessing user trends, or you can even conduct personality assessments on movie sets to make sure that actors are fit for duty. Lastly, when presented with new opportunities, lean in with curiosity. Ask questions to get a true understanding of the impact it may have for you and others. But let me be clear, this doesn't mean that you say yes to every opportunity, because life is still about balance. It's vital and it's important to set boundaries and make sure that you're taking care of yourself. For me, my balance came when I interacted with my family and those that I cared about. It was a constant reminder that my why was bigger than just my own personal success. It was important because everyone else around me also felt for me and was supportive of me. So, with that, I want to say congratulations to you, and thank you for allowing me to share a little bit of my journey with Joyce, with me, with you. I'm looking forward to hearing about things.
Thank you, Dr. Burwise, and I'm glad that you said that you were comfortable speaking with large audiences, because I was not sure if Ms. Simmons told you to speak tonight, or you actually, she did, she's like, she did. But thank you. I also want to thank you for your words of advice to our students. When I was sitting in your position, my dad said, well, what are you going to do in college? I said, I'm going to major in psychology because I liked my psychology teacher in high school. And then 4 years, or actually 5 years later, my dad said, okay, what are you going to do now that you have a psychology degree? And I said, I don't know, I guess I'm going to teach. Had I known all of these different options, and especially the way psychology, the field has evolved over many years. I'm sorry, Ms. McKenzie, I might not be here. Okay, so at this time, we are going to begin the induction of the new members of Psi Alpha. Psi Alpha recognizes outstanding psychology students and promotes excellence in scholarship, leadership, research, and community service. Once a student has earned the honor and has been inducted, membership is for life. Their criteria is as follows: a senior student, an A average in Psychology 1 and 2, or a B or better in AP, Advanced Placement Psychology. As each student's name is called, they will come up, receive their Psi Alpha certificate, and honor cord. I will also read some personal information. I asked each student to put together a little bio slide. You'll see that also presented on the screen. The student slides include their college, intended major, why they like psychology or how psychology has helped them, and who they would like to thank, and a famous quote or words of advice. So if I could ask Ms. McKenzie and Ms. Brown to join us. So parents, I'm going to go without the mic. Parents, I'll ask you to hold applause and pictures until the end. We can do pictures and background after, okay? Since we have 35 people, and I'd like to go to bed. Go to bed in 2 hours. All right, our first inductee is Lillian Adubatwe. Stockton University, majoring in biology, and she wants to thank her family, teachers, and counselors for being there when she needed help and encouraging her to achieve the highest possible. Janet Alec. Janet is majoring in health sciences at Rutgers University, and she wants to thank her mom for being Psychology has helped her find interest in neuroscience, and she wants to thank her parents for being her biggest supporters and always pushing her to do her best. Genevieve Blackburn Wallace is attending Rutgers, majoring in psychology, so you may want to have a conversation with Dr. Burwise after. And I loved her quote. Chef Steph is our chef, culinary arts teacher, and our swim coach. And she said Genevieve said her favorite quote was, during swim season, Steph Chef said, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Good words of advice. Next is Gabriella Bongiorno. Gabby is one of our valedictorians, attending Rowan University, majoring in biological science with a minor in psychology. She was accepted to the Honors College. She wants to thank her parents for teaching her the importance of dedication and supporting her in her further endeavors to become a genetic counselor. Next is Selena Chen. Selena is attending Stockton, majoring in biology. She loves psychology because it allows her to better understand herself and others and grow her communication skills and refine her critical thinking. Next is Miss Sarah Cross. Sarah's going to Camden County for 2 years and then Rutgers, majoring in psychology, and she wants to thank her mom and her dad for always supporting her and encouraging her throughout her life. Minnie D'Angelo. Minnie is going to Camden County College for 2 years and then Rutgers, and she's following in Sarah's footsteps, but she's majoring in nursing. She wants to thank her friends and family because they have helped her stay motivated throughout the years. Next is Anisi Diaz-Lambert. And then I'm going to stop you right there because her twin sister, stay right there, Anissa Diaz-Lambert. I will say, turn around for a second, I had these two in class and I could not tell the difference. And I asked Sarah all the time, which one is which? And Sarah couldn't even tell the difference. And I think it's totally adorable that they're both going to the same college, New Jersey Institute of Technology. They're both majoring in cyber psychology. However, they do have different words of advice and why they like psychology. Anisi says she likes psychology because it's interesting and she wants to thank the people around her. And Anissa says she likes psychology because it allows her to understand how we think and act, and she wants to also appreciate the people in her life who have supported her. Good job, girls. Have fun in college together. Emily Dwyer. Emily's going to Rowan University, and she's majoring in sports communication and media. I love her quote. It says, it always seems impossible until it's done, and she says that this reminds her that she can accomplish anything that she puts her mind to. Kyla Evans. Norfolk State University, biology pre-med, and she wants to thank her family and friends for continuing to support her on the journey into the next major stage of her life. Samantha Freeman. Sam is going to UCF, University of Central Florida, majoring in criminal justice. We're going to work on that tan, right, Sam? She wants to thank her mom for being her biggest supporter throughout her entire life. Sam also said to her mom, you never cease to amaze me, and you love me for everything. Elena Gordon. Elena is also one of our valedictorians. Elena is attending the University of Delaware for nursing. She wants to thank her parents for always being there no matter what the situation. Alexis Graham. Alexis is attending Florida Atlantic University and majoring in biological sciences. She wants to thank her family for always inspiring her and supporting her. Brianna Holmes. We have another Floridian. Brianna is going to Florida Gulf Coast University, majoring in nursing. She wants to thank her family for always helping her, and especially for her mom for always being by her side. Madison Jones. She would like to thank, and take note of this order, her mom, her dad, her dog Luna, and then me. Next Next is Sarah Kurtz. Sarah's planning on going to Montclair State University, majoring in journalism and digital media, and she would like to thank her parents for always pushing her to achieve her goals. Joshua Malagoya. Josh is attending NJIT, majoring in computer engineering, and he wants to thank his siblings. You really like your siblings, huh? He'd like to thank his siblings for helping him along the way as he faced many adversities during high school. Courtney McFadden. Courtney is our salutatorian, attending University of Delaware to study actuarial, I had to pronounce that and say that a few times, science. She likes psychology because it has helped her become more in tune with herself and given her a better understanding of why people act the way they do and how to correctly react. Corey Moore. Corey's going to West Virginia, majoring in criminal justice, and she wants to thank her family for being loving and unconditionally loving and being the reason to keep going on. Next is Tune Doy. Attending Rutgers University in New Brunswick, majoring in computer science. She wants to thank her friends for pushing her to take psychology and for making it fun. Ethan Lerma. Ethan is attending Camden County College, and he's still trying to figure out what he wants to do. Nothing wrong with that, right? He likes psychology because he finds the topics interesting and can learn why he and others act certain ways. Leah Peterson. Leah is going to East Stroudsburg University, majoring in Spanish. She likes psychology because it helps her better understand human behavior and mental processes. Jakira Presley. Jakira, it gives me great pleasure to say this because I've known Jakira for a few years and I'm eternally grateful for the fact that she is going into the Army to be an avionic mechanic. What a wonderful choice. Her words of advice, you have to say it, solo creation. I don't slur my R's for you. From her mom, which means just relax. Madison Roman. Madison Roman is going to West Virginia University, majoring in criminology, wants to thank her parents because they've always supported her and pushed her to be the best she could. Carly Sarator. Carly's going to the College of New Jersey to study psychology and potentially, hopefully, pursue a career as a psychiatrist. Psychology has helped me realize, Carly realize what she wants to do with her life. Stefan Simon. Stefan is actually one of our unique individuals in that he came to me because he didn't take psychology as a degree. He actually took it in college already as a college course. So he's going to Brown University for biomedical engineering, and he wants to thank his mom and his little sister for always being there when he needed help. Mackenzie Tran. Mackenzie is one of our valedictorians. She's attending Northeastern University, pursuing a group degree in nursing. Psychology has helped her build a greater understanding and empathy towards individuals struggling in our society. Next is Elijah Workman. Elijah's going to Brown University, majoring in psychology, and he'd like to thank his sister for sparking his interest in psychology. And last but not least, Alyssa Zero. Alyssa's going to Camden County, majoring in nursing, and she likes psychology because it gives her insight on mental health and how important it is. We do have two students who weren't able to be with us tonight, Alex Rasberger and Alexis Wilson, for various reasons, so I just wanted to note their names if they will inductees will say the Psi Alpha pledge, and then we'll proceed. All right, friends, and other family members who are here tonight. Thank you for your unconditional love and support of these exceptional students. And I ask the inductees to please afterwards acknowledge your parents and friends and everyone who is here to support you. Students, without the help of your friends and families, you would not be who you are today. You can blame them for your faults and imperfections, but you should also acknowledge that they have sacrificed for you. Once again, congratulations to the inductees. Your commitment to Timber Creek and all that it has to offer has brought you here tonight. You are the future. Achieve great things, acquire knowledge, and never forget those who have helped you along the way. Thank you.